All right, let's talk PlayStation. There is a serious buzz going around about a big new showcase, a state of play, that's supposedly just around the corner in April 2026. So, is there anything to this? Let's jump right in and unpack everything we think we know based on the latest leaks.
But hang on, before we get to all the juicy rumors, let's do a quick reset. For anyone who maybe isn't living and breathing PlayStation news 24/7, what exactly is a state of play? And why does one little rumor send the entire gaming world into a total frenzy? You know, the easiest way to think about a state of play is like Sony's version of a big E3 press conference, but it's all packed into a neat digital stream. This is where they drop the bombshells, right? We're talking major game reveals, that gameplay footage we've all been waiting for, and maybe even a few of those one more thing surprises that nobody saw coming. It's their main stage, and that's exactly why even a whisper of a new one gets everyone talking. Okay, so now that we're all on the same page, let's get to the heart of it. The big question on everyone's mind is, when is this thing supposedly happening? Let's dig into what the leaks are saying about the specific date and time we should all be looking out for. We see rumors like this pop up all the time, but this one feels a little different, mainly because it's got a very specific date attached to it. So the question is, when should you maybe think about clearing your schedule? So the date we have is April 16th, 2026, and this comes from a post on X by the pretty well-known leaker Nate the Hate. Now, what's really important here is that while this person has a decent track record, this is absolutely not an official announcement from Sony. Still, a spring showcase totally fits their pattern. It's the perfect time to build up hype right before the big summer gaming season kicks off, which, you gotta admit, it gives this rumor some credibility. And hey, if this whole thing turns out to be true, this is when you need to be tuning in. PlayStation usually likes to kick these things off around 2 p.m. Pacific time. So you can see how that translates across the globe. That's 5 p.m. for the East Coast, a late-night 10 p.m. show for everyone in the UK, and yeah, a very early morning on April 17th for our friends over in Japan and Australia. But knowing when the show might happen is only half the fun, right? The other, and let's be honest, way more exciting question is, what are we going to see? So let's dive into all the speculation about the potential game lineup. So the speculation here kind of splits into two different camps. In one corner, you've got really strong hopes for Marvel's Wolverine. And this makes a ton of sense because the developer, Insomniac, has already gone on record saying they plan to show more gameplay in spring 2026. But in the other corner, the leaker themselves hinted that the show sounds more third-party focused, which kind of pours a little cold water on expectations for a huge first-party blowout. So if it is a third-party show, well, the sky's the limit, really. I mean, just looking at the upcoming release calendar, we could be in for some massive stuff. Can you imagine getting a new look at that mysterious James Bond game from the folks who made Hitman? Or maybe a real trailer for the Control sequel? And then, oh man, there's the big one everyone's been whispering about for ages, the Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag remake. Again, this is just pure speculation, but wow, any one of those would absolutely steal the show. Okay. Deep breaths. It is so easy to get carried away on the hype train. But now it's time for a little reality check. We need to step back for a second and carefully separate what's actual fact from what is just pure unconfirmed speculation. And look, I really can't stress this enough, and even the source of the leak, Nate the Hate, said it too, you have to take all of this with a massive grain of salt. Until Sony comes out and makes an official announcement, a rumor is just that, a rumor, no matter how exciting it sounds. So let's just lay it all out. What do we actually know for a fact? Well, we know Sony hosts these events, and they often do it in the spring. But basically everything else, that April 16th date, the entire dream list of games, that's all pure rumor from an unconfirmed leak. In fact, and this is probably the most important part, the leaker themselves made it very clear that this was unconfirmed info.
So with all that said, where does this leave us? As a PlayStation fan, how should you handle the hype for the next few weeks? Let's wrap this up with a clear plan for what to watch for.
Your game plan from here on out is actually pretty simple. Number one, just keep your eyes glued to the official PlayStation channels, their blog, their social media. That's the only place the real announcement is going to come from. Number two, it is totally okay to be excited. Get hyped for the possibility of a show, but just try to keep your expectations in check. And finally, number three, remember the golden rule of gaming rumors. It's not real until Sony says it's real. So, while we wait for some official word, we're left with the most fun question of all. Forget the leagues, forget the rumors for a minute. If a state of play was announced for tomorrow, what games would be on your personal wish list? What announcements would make it the perfect showcase for you?
Now that's the real excitement. Thanks for hanging out.